Hello, everyone. It's Terry. Time for another little segment from me, Terry Hardin, pop icon. I'm Disney's legendary Imagineer. I'm also a pop icon. I've been in Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Google Terry Hardin, and you can see all the stuff that I've done. I've made chicken McNuggets, anything from chicken McNuggets, Foster Farms chickens, to Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Country Bears, the Dragon in Paris, Disneyland, etc., etc., etc. If you don't know me and you're here today, thank you 1,000 times. Take a look at this sign. This is what I want to talk about today, because you may have read the little blurb that was on the front of my card. And that card that said, "It's Terry," talks about ways screwing up residential areas. And it has. And here is how they're fighting back. So let me just cut to myself for a minute to explain to you, what did Terry do on her 4th of July? Now, if you are just champing at the bit to hear that I did fireworks and I ate hot dogs and hamburgers and all that, yes, I did do that, and I did celebrate with my family. But after that, we discovered something very, very important that has affected us as a family and could affect you as well. Now, I am talking about Southern California. Check in your areas to see if Waze has messed you guys up as well. But in Southern California, something that we realized has become something that is terribly, terribly impactful for our community, and that is Waze. So those of you who don't know what Waze is, W-A-Z-E, Waze is a way to find routes online. It's an app, okay, that you find routes that might usurp or get you to your destination faster during peak traffic conditions. Slow down, Jerry. Okay. So everyone probably has traffic jams all over, but let me just talk about mine that I know of in Southern California. There are 2 freeways that get terribly congested during daylight hours. And there's a very good chance that these other freeways do the same, going in other directions. Wherever there's freeways that get terribly congested going to certain directions during peak hours, if they are going through residences that are located in the LA County to usurp these freeways, and these freeways would be the 110, the 101, the 405. So the 405 freeway is our San Diego freeway. Takes us to LAX airport, gets us across the hill to Santa Monica, etc. Going south from the Valley area, which would be your Norwalk, that would be your Van Nuys Airport area, that sort of thing, Van Nuys, Burbank, whatever, that side, Sherman Oaks, etc. Anyone coming from up in the hills of like Palmdale, Lancaster, whatever, and they're making their way down and they need to go to like Santa Monica or LA City, downtown LA, Hollywood, whatever, they're going to take one of these throughways, one of them being the 405, maybe getting to LAX. This is a major artery. 101, which takes us through the Valley area. It takes us to Disneyland, or it brings us in from Anaheim and Disneyland to Disney Studios, etc. That's a main artery. And then the 110 coming up from the Long Beach area, or the 101 going downtown LA to the Staples Center and stuff like that. That just gives you an idea of what I'm talking about all over. Well, what happens when you go into these major areas is that it just bottles up. It's stop-go traffic during rush hour time. So along comes Waze and the designers of Waze. And Waze is an app that many people contribute to while driving. They say, hey, I have this cool little place, zips me around the major choke section, and I get to work 20 minutes faster, 20 minutes faster. I'm talking about when Waze was first created. Problem is is that residences that used to be pretty quiet with the occasional vehicle driving through their neighborhood to cut a corner was fine until Waze came along. Then Waze came along and started choking up these areas that were residential areas, and people couldn't back out into the street to whatever. They found traffic jams in their residential areas. It became more dangerous in their opinion, but it definitely became more noisy, and they weren't having it. We must do something. We must fight. And so they did. So they went before City Council, Chamber of Commerce, you name it. I was a part of the Chamber of Commerce. We often would get inquiries about certain things that were happening in our community. And so this is the situation. Now, why did it all of a sudden affect me and my husband? That's a good question. So observe this sign again. This is in, this can be seen in various areas where there are residential areas that people are using other means to get over the hill into Hollywood. We'll just talk about that. But understand that anywhere in the LA County where there is a residence that might be a throughway, a residential street that might be a throughway to get you to, for example, there's a really nasty intersection during peak where you go from the 101 and then you loop around and you get onto the 405. Just a mess. Just a mess. So many people get off at Sepulveda and try to go up Sepulveda, go up alongside the freeway. Those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you a map in a minute. But the bottom line is this. In the beginning, it probably wasn't that bad, but now it's really bad. So here you see this sign, 7 to 10 a.m. I want you to get a really good look at this sign. These signs are everywhere. And if you have taken these little artery routes to go around, say, if you take Laurel Canyon, a favorite way to jump over to the other side of the hill is Laurel Canyon, for example. But if you're trying to usurp certain congested areas of Laurel Canyon, these signs are there. If you take Mulholland through a residential area, these signs are there. These signs are protecting every single street that usurps congested areas. Okay, so let me just give you a little example, if I may. Okay, just let me give you, I know you're like looking at me going, why is this important? I'll tell you why this is important. We need to help. First of all, if you look at this sign, do you see anywhere where it says, and I want you to look really carefully, do you see anywhere where it says residents accepted, permit, anything? So let's say you live in this area. Now you get a ticket. If you are traveling on any of these roads between 7 and 10, and you, let's say you're a resident, you could get a ticket. So you can go down the hill to your Whole Foods market, for example, but when you come back up, you are violating this law. You understand? And you live there. You're not even commuting, and you live there. Now, what my husband says, I think, is the case. If you were to show the officer your registration and it shows that you live there, no harm, no foul. But what if you've got gardeners coming during these hours, cleaning people coming during these hours? You know, have a delivery person coming this hours. But more importantly, let's say you have children living with you. Many of us this time have children living with us, and they don't necessarily have their registration with our address. Maybe they are taking care of an elderly parent, or they are assisting someone, or they're gathering for a couple weeks or whatever, and they have a rental car. The registration will not be registered to the address that you're staying at, which is inside these areas. So if the police officer stopped you and you're in a rental car, they see your registration does not collate with people who live there. If this is the way they're doing it, we're assuming, then you're going to get a ticket, a moving violation, even though you're just going up to see grandma, to grandma's house or to mom's house or to dad's house or whatever. Now, my husband says that this is an extenuating, many extenuating circumstances, probably affects, what, 1 million people in the Southern California. That has way more than that living here. And it might not even be that many, but the bottom line is, when you are a resident, you fought because you just didn't want these people driving through your town and causing havoc in your area. Perfectly understandable. But now you are getting the backlash yourself because family members are getting tickets. And the police officer just says this: "Are you on this street now? What time is it?" "Oh, officer, it's 8 o'clock." "What does the sign say?" I didn't see the sign." "Let me enlighten you. 7 to 10. You cannot be on this road, period, without getting a ticket if I catch you." So today I felt very strongly about warning you about this ticket. Okay, warning you about these signs, because let's face it, if you have created a habit of going up to your family home over and over and over again since you were a kid, you may or may not have even seen this sign. And if you are taking care of an elderly parent and you're driving up to pick them up, and their appointment is across the hill, over the hill at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, but you're over in the valley, you are going up these streets. The only way you can avoid these signs is to take major arteries, and that is near impossible. Why? Because we've tried it. My husband and I spent 4th of July weekend driving these various areas so that we could see if there were signs like this blocking little streets that we might be able to create for him, a way to get to his elderly parent should she need to, should she need a doctor's appointment, and the doctor's appointment is over the hill at 9:15, meaning that he is on the hill during those hours. That's not good. And he's got to get to her. That's the hard part. You follow me? The hard part is getting to her. Okay. Once he's got to her, he can go over the hill and it's all fine. The signs do not affect. Once he's up there, it's getting up there. It's getting up there. Yeah. Yeah. For real. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's getting up there. We tried everything. Every little place we thought we might get up. And we really thought that there was a street that's pretty big that we thought would be the answer, because he could go all the way up that way, turn, and get to his mom. But that street has one of these signs on it as well. So let me just give you some examples. And if you're not familiar with the Valley area of California, just run with me a little bit. So major, this right here, let me just make sure I'm looking at what I'm looking at here that's important. Yes, I think this is one of them. Let me just double check, guys, because I want to make sure I'm telling you proper. Yeah, I think this is the proper one. Let me see if I can find Vineland. I think I've got it. Yeah, here's Cahuenga. That's Lancashire. Yes. Okay. I got it. Okay. I just want to be sure to guide you along as you see this. So here's the map, and it might be a little hard for you to see, but we're going to try it. Okay. Bear with me. Run with me on this one. Okay. So up near the top of this map, in this intersection right here, this little one that says Studio City Tattoo, that street right there is a street called Vineland. And you notice how the fat part, see where it says Bluffside, right where Studio City is, the fat goes into the thin. And this thin little road that goes up into the hills past where the Studio City Tattoo is, and that's on Ventura Boulevard. You go up in there, every inlet that you see, this inlet right here, blocked. This one here, blocked. The next one, blocked. All of these say no traveling up, in case you think it might be a great way to get over to Laurel Canyon Boulevard, which is right here. There's Laurel Canyon, and you'll notice that you'll see like a Berry Drive and a Donna Lola Drive. And if you come up here, you'll notice Mulholland Drive. And if you come down here, you see what I mean? These areas are all these residential streets in there, blocked, stopped. No, not happening. You don't get to go there. Every single one has a sign that says until 10 o'clock, you can't get up there. Okay. So as long as you're coming from those residences and going down, you're fine. But going up, no, 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 unless you're right next door. And even then, there are areas that will not make you, like, for example, the intersection of Laurel Canyon and Mulholland. You cannot make a left or a right turn to go down the hill into the Hollywood area between those hours. There's a sign there. And the sign, as I've said before, looks, let me just get to it, just like this. That's it. And you notice here that this one says Woodcliff Road. This Woodcliff is next to the 405. So the 405 has a really nasty area. So people were using poor old Woodcliff to go up the hill to catch Mulholland, to get over and get back on the 405 or to go wherever they needed to go. This is what the situation is. And if we move over and just look at this, there's nothing that says if you're a resident, you're going to be clear. My husband and I are assuming that if you are a resident and your registration says you're a resident, the cop may cut your break. But there is no guarantees, guys. This is why I'm so urgent about telling you about this law. Many of you are saying it doesn't pertain to me, so no big deal. It will and it can. All I'm saying is, please, if you're in a residential area that you're using to usurp a traffic situation, no matter where you are in the United States, look extra careful, because this is very, very possible that you could get a ticket and it is a moving violation. And you could also possibly be, listen to this, the very resident who got this implemented in the first place. No, I mean, we'd like to think that if you showed your registration that you live there, that he let you off. But there's nothing that says this. Nothing. As an actor, one of the things I hated to do back in the day when I was really acting, now I get maybe 1 or 2 auditions a year, so I don't have to deal with it that much. And many, ever since the pandemic, have you put it on a video and they watch videos. It just works out a lot better for the people casting, and for you performing. You can kind of pick a few performances that are your best, I will say. Self-tapes are something that I really enjoy more than coming in. I always used to choke up during auditions, and it's just nice to be able to give them a few choices. So it's different now. But back in my day, I used to travel all over Southern California to audition. And one of the places I hated to go was Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills, oh, what a nightmare to try and find a place to park or trying to find out which direction the streets are. There's a few residential areas that they're one way. There's several residential areas that there's no parking. There's other residential areas you can't go through this way unless you're permitted. Keyword, permitted. And that's the key. This sign here says nothing about permitted permits. Speak, Terry. Nothing about permits. Nothing about permits. It's like you went before the powers that be and said, hey, we need this sign because these people are making us crazy. But you forgot one of the primary ingredients. You know, it's like making chili without chili. You know, it's like creating a hamburger without the hamburger or whatever. I don't know what the main ingredient is, but spaghetti without tomato sauce, I don't know what it would be. But the bottom line is, one of the primary ingredients I think that's missing here is permits, so that the person who lives there or people who live there can apply for a permit and have a permit, so that if stopped by the police, they can go, here's my permit, or the permit will be stuck to the windshield of the car. This is what Beverly Hills does all over. I know, because I hate traveling and driving through Beverly Hills. But they have permits required. And if you've been down in certain places in Southern California or anywhere in your community does not have to be California, it can be anywhere. I'm sure you've seen that certain areas are restricted, but if you have a permit, you can park there or drive there or whatever. This is my big pitch to you today, is that just be careful. because this is a moving violation, which means it goes on your record, right? And also means that that check mark could raise your insurance. And who needs that? Right? These signs are important. This is why I'm showing it to you. And I'm showing it to you because it's a major challenge for us as we go to take care of an elderly parent. Our elderly parent lives in the hills, and we cannot get to her during certain hours of the day. Now, most of the time, because I'm semi-retired, most of the time it's okay. Most of the time. But recently, we have run into some doctor's appointments that are over the hill where the person she needs to see is only available at 10 o'clock, which means if you look at the sign, uh-oh, now we're in peak traveling. We're in a peak situation, traveling situation, where we can't get to her. And we tried everything over this weekend. We tried everything. And the best route we could find to get to her was Beverly Glen up to Mulholland and Mulholland to get to her. Okay. And that's coming up and over kind of, you know. But the problem is that is a major artery for people to get up and over into Hollywood. So it can be, it has variables. And the reason it doesn't have a sign, even though it's through residential areas in parts, is because it's been a throughway for so long. It's been a place that people have used for so long. So I would imagine that the residents probably applied for it, but they said, nah, this is established. When you moved in, this is the way it was. So no. So this could be the way the city, LA County, LA City is behaving. That's the same with Laurel Canyon. And that's the same with Coldwater Canyon. And that's the same. So you've got your Coldwater Canyon artery, your Beverly Glen artery, and your Laurel Canyon artery. Those three arteries, they're kind of saying, no. These have been here since, you know, the early 1900s. You just got to swing with it, guys. You just got to go with it. But that's the way you got to go with. And that's the challenge. You know, that's the challenge. Because if you're going up Laurel Canyon and you want to go left onto Mulholland during peak traffic, you cannot make that turn. If you want to turn right, no harm, no foul. You can go to the right onto Mulholland. If you're coming up the hill towards Hollywood. If you're coming up the hill towards the valley, again, you cannot go right onto Mulholland or east. You cannot go east onto Mulholland during peak traffic. You can go west. You can't go east. Okay. If you are on Mulholland, you live in Mulholland, and you want to travel down Laurel Canyon to get into Hollywood, you cannot do that during peak traffic. The sign is there too. My point is these signs are now everywhere. And if you don't want a stack of moving violations, you got to figure out a different route. And it's not that easy. We spent the weekend driving it because one of the things about Waze and about most maps is they don't really, they've not updated enough to tell you that these signs exist on certain streets. It would be great if they did. You know, note to anyone out there who's been working on this, these apps, it'd be great to say, not this one, not this one, not this one. If you're looking between certain hours of the day, mainly 7 and 10 a.m. Because it'll save you a lot of headache as you try to go up there. If you're going to even, here's the thing, if you're going to honor them. Bottom line is if you're going to honor them. One of the things we noticed today about Woodcliff was that it wasn't even honored. It was already red, which means people are going up there and ignoring the signs. They're just not listening to the signs. You know, if you're a police officer and you want your quota, there it is, bingo, Woodcliff, because that is illegal now. That is against the law. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to show you the challenges if you're using small residential streets to get around stuff. Now, this doesn't mean Sepulveda, guys. Sepulveda, which runs parallel to the 405, is still available. It's not residential, okay? It might be at the beginning, but That's big wide street. They don't look at it that way. Again, because it's a major artery, okay? But it's the little streets that you're taking, the little cow paths, as my husband likes to call them. You can't do the cow paths anymore. Or if you do, be sure to double check during peak if you are violating the law because of these signs. And the signs are big. The signs aren't, this is the thing that surprised both of us, is this is not a small sign. This sign is probably about a foot tall. So it's really big, and some say except Saturday and Sunday, and some say Monday through Friday. But the bottom line is you need to be aware that these little streets that you're using, and Woodcliff is one that a lot of people use to avoid that 405 101 intersection. You're getting off you're getting off the 101 to get on to the 405 going south. And it's a mess. Oh gosh, it can take forever during peak traffic because everyone's going south on the freeway during peak traffic is a nightmare. And Woodcliff is a great way to avoid that and come around that cluster. Okay, not anymore. All right, this is why I pointed this particular one out. This one, no. And you may say, well, I'll just go down a little further and use one of the other cow paths. And I'm telling you, they all say, you don't get to do it. So I just thought, you may say, Terry's usually upbeat and this is bringing me down. But I just got to warn you because, guys, this is something that just shocked us. And I kept saying, what do you do if you live there? You're taking care of an elderly parent temporarily. You're there because they had a knee replacement surgery or whatever. And you're there helping out because you're a good you're a good loving daughter, loving son, whatever. You're not going to change your registration. You're there for maybe a few weeks, a month or so, or you're someone who's living up in this area or in these areas that are restricted. And I mean across the board, all over LA County, and LA County is a big place. LA is the county covers a lot, is what I'm saying. So you can be all the way over by Universal Studios, or all the way over in Encino, Sherman Oaks, Ventura, I don't know that you need to go through residential areas, so I may be exaggerating a little bit there. But my point is, wherever there is a Los Angeles County area, these signs will be anywhere where you're using the cow paths to usurp any freeway. Like if you're downtown and you're trying to use cow paths to get around, say, the 10 and the 405, for example, those are going to have these signs too because it's LA County. You follow me? It's not just this street, but this is a street, I have to be honest with you, I used to use to usurp that area, and now I can't because no, residents have said stop. It's just to the residents of this area, I'm saying, you might want to go back and say, can we get permits? Because my daughter is taking care of me while my leg is healing, or my hip is healing, or, I'm recovering from something. I took care of my father for quite a while before he passed away, and I didn't change my registration to where I lived. This was all temporary. This is an extenuating circumstance, and maybe what many people felt like is that there's not a lot of people in this situation. But come on, guys, with the way rents are here and the way housing is limited, young people are finding it challenging to even own a home. So many are moving in with their parents. And in that case, depending on how long they're moving in, they might change their registration. So maybe it doesn't apply to them. But if they don't change their registration, this could be a challenge for you, is all I'm saying. And we still don't know if the registration gives you a pass. We would hope it would. But again, it doesn't say permits on the sign. So you could be a resident who goes down the hill to get milk because you ran out, and then not be able to get back up the hill because you're in violation of the sign. You see what I mean? So before we continue, let me give you a little bit of a what I've created, so that if you would like to purchase it, let me just do my own little spiel here, if I may. Thank you for being so accommodating. I want to just share with you the Disneyland, my Disneyland pin. For those of you who are wanting to go to the birthday, which is July 17th, and it's vastly approaching, here is a place that you can get the pin that I have created for the 70th birthday. It is $25, and you can go to my website. Let me just pop that in for you. So you go to my website, which is terrihardin.com, right here. You look at the top. Once you get to the website, you click on online store. That's going to take you to my store. And then you click shop, and this little pin is on the very, very front. And then order how many you want. And if you are going to be at the birthday and you'd like to pick them up, let me know. But what I'd like you to do is to pick them up before the birthday if you're in an area where you can pick them up. If not, simply have me ship them to you. And the cutoff for shipping to you, I'm going to have to say, is going to be, let me think. Let me look at my book real quick for you. Because if you're someone who really wants this, and order as many as you like, they're $25 each, limited to $3.50. I won't be selling them at Disneyland because that is a infraction on Disneyland. We don't do that. So if you want to order them, I'm going to make the cutoff point this Friday, the 11th. So Friday, the 11th is the last day to order them in time for the birthday. Now, if you don't care and you want to still order them, please do, because I will keep selling them thereafter, because just like anybody who has a birthday, myself included, I'm going to be 68 all the way up till next June. So Disneyland is going to be 70 all the way up till next July 17th. So you can wear this pin proudly. And if you collect Disneyland birthday pins, this will be great for your collection, and it's not that expensive. It is, let me just show you another way. It is, here, I'll go like this, ba-doom. It is, you can see with my finger that it is a pretty good size. It goes down to my second knuckle, but it's really cute. It's Mickey opening up a little birthday card with a retro castle on it. So if it's something that you'd like, these are other pins that I have. You can see them at the store when you go there, but I wanted to talk about the Disney pin, which is right here. So I just want you to know, and the reason I want you to know is in case you collect these or you know someone who collects them, because the thing I hate more than anything is to tell you that it's sold out. Okay? And so there you go. Now there is yes, there you go. There you go. I'm just going to stop there. Don't want to confuse you. But there you go. I will be at the birthday party at Disneyland. So come by Court Corner and say hello if you'd like. I will not have the pins there. But if you want that pin, and no pressure, this is just to let you know. Many people feel like if you do something like this, look what's available, my pin or my sculptures or whatever. This is what I do, and they're extremely limited. So feel free to peruse around the store if you want to see other things that I offer. But namely, I wanted to let you know about this beautiful birthday pin in case you'd like to go to Disneyland in style wearing this pin. Okay? All right. So, my friends, that's it. Happy, happy week for you. Birthday is coming up. We're very excited about it. Looking to celebrate, and we're off to the races. So, I hope you enjoyed today's talk. You might not have, because most of you are used to me saying Disney and all this, but I just felt so strongly that about this new law, that it could catch off guard, and with the way the world is, you don't want to be you don't want to be caught off guard, do you? I mean, nobody wants to be caught off guard. We're all wound so tightly. We're all hyperventilating at times. We don't even know why we're getting anxious. That I just wanted you to know about something that might catch you. So I hope you understand, and I am perky and sparkly. Here's one. This is the Choco Bear. I'm getting ready to do the Chalk Walk. More on the next broadcast about how you can get a Peter Pan pin because I didn't sell out of my Peter Pan pins. So there's a way to go to the chalkwalk.org, look for my name, Terri Hardin, and donate $30 and get the pin. But I will tell you about that next time, or maybe in a quick reel. So with that, my friends, I give you all the hugs, all the love, and thank you for joining me. If you're new to joining this and you want to know more, I never know when I'm going to post. I try to be regular about it, but because I am a creative person and I have lots and lots of deadlines I'm working towards semi-retirement, but the idea is I still have some deadlines I have to fulfill. And so I'm doing the best I can because I just want to just chat with you whenever I can. So with that, my friends, there you go. One more thing, if you'd like to talk with me live, rather than hear this way, feel free to go to patreon.com/Terri Hardin and join my tribe. We speak together every week via Zoom. So that's one of the perks. Check it out. Okay, guys. Hugs and kisses. Be well. Be nice. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. It'll get you out of that depression. Trust me. And bye for now. Take care, all.